right, here we go. Get ready to have a good time. This is exciting, isn't it?
All right, we're on.
Hello, testing.
Welcome aboard the Dreamliner.
It's the only way to fly.
I've allotted 1 hour for recreational activity. There's no time for irrelevant conversation. Fun will now commence.
Gary.
Here's a young speaker who is really in demand.
Don't let that go to your head, Gary.
But wait, there's more.
That's what I'm talking about.
He is Gary Meier.
3, 2, 1, 0.
Hello, GarrForce. Hey, GarrForce. Bonsoir, GarrForce. Oi, GarrForce. Rock and roll, GarrForce. 23 Skidoo, GarrForce. Huzzah, GarrForce. I'm Todd Pickering. I'm Tim Pickering. Je suis Etienne Pickering. I'm Nigel Pickering. I'm Slash Pickering. I'm Nat Bunny Pickering. I am Horatio Pickering. It's the Friday, July 29, 2022 edition of the Gary Meier Show. Cocktail hour.
Cocktails, woo, drinks.
Live. That's a lot of Pickerings.
Of course, no matter who you are and no matter where you are, it's time for a digital mimosa. Speaking of beverages, the GarrForce official bartender, Jenna Doubleston, will show you how to mix up this month's featured cocktail, Irish lemonade, on today's show. And to mix Gary's brain pan up in another way, we've got WGN-TV's Marcus Leshock, who loves to be Coastin the Country, checking out the latest roller coasters and theme parks. Do us and yourself a favor, subscribe to the GarrForce Live YouTube channel, and hit the bell icon to be notified when we're live. Like and share the show on all the social media channels, and know that during the live show, we can see your comments on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch, which means we may show them on the screen and or talk about them. Yes, I'm back on the controls this week, not having won Mega Millions, but no one else has won yet either, so tonight's jackpot is at $1.1 billion. Wait. Now it's 1.28 billion. Maybe it'll be even more at drawing time. Drawing is at 11 p.m. Eastern, 10 Central. Plenty of time left to dream. But for now, fasten your seatbelts. It's time to go wheels up on the GarrForce Live.
Live.
Boom, shakalaka. Thank you, Alan. Boom shakalaka is right. We have what Steve Harvey would say. We got a good one for you tonight, and we will get to our guests momentarily. Welcome. This show has been designed so you can release all the fugazi, the whatever that you've accumulated Monday through Thursday, and we can get into the weekend with some kind of, hey, who gives a shit? We're having a good time. That's why this show was designed. And I hope you have your cocktail. I've got mine. I got my main Manhattan right here. God, I'm so up for this. And I have used a couple power tools today to get my mind right. And, well, let me do a few things here. I have to kick the tires. Let's kick them and light them up. Light them up. We're wheels up. All right, here we go. And I want to acknowledge some people that have checked in already. I saw that Charles from WRLR, he works at a radio station, WRLR, has checked in. Martin from British Columbia, he's here every week. Hello, Martin. Lloydster, Deborah from Des Plaines, Illinois, Gregory from Arlington Heights, the future home of the Chicago Bears. Yep, they're moving there. They're going to have their whole new stadium built right there. That's where I won my car. I won a car at a charity event. Arlington Heights had this racetrack for many years, and they had this function there, this charity function, and I bought one ticket. I won a car about 30 years ago. I still have the car. It's sweet. Brian is on his patio enjoying a cocktail. But wait a minute. Keely Ann really starts off all the commentary here on the GarrForce, and it says here, my schnauzer enjoys falling asleep on my phone, but gets really excited when it rings and vibrates. Well, yes, because that's what makes it all exciting, the vibration. It's the same thing when you push hard on your belly button. That kind of vibration, Yeah. Thank you, Keely-Ann, Anna, and Stephen from Payless Heights, Doug, Catherine. Don is in Monterey, Tennessee, checking in. Let me go to the screen door. Let's see, because you got to look through the screen door. That's here. Okay, got it. All right, we got Debbie and Jadine and Robert and Susan. Hey, Susan, longtime fan. Thank you, Susan. You've been very supportive. And she says, I have a Diet Coke. I'm doing this sober. Okay, whatever floats your boat. You don't have to drink if you don't want to. And Doug and Blaze. All right, Johnny from Michigan has checked in. All right, Johnny, over by there. Leslie, let me tell you why I'm really kind of verklempt, because it is the last Friday in July, and I'm starting to get this shit.
Ah, cry.
Yeah,
Come
this
on.
is starting to come.
Yeah, I think we've bypassed the back to school and gone straight to,
Oh, yeah,
hey,
back to
let's
school
do
is it?
fall.
Yeah, full swing. Now it's Halloween. Have you ever seen this catalog?
No, I have not.
Olive and
Cocoa.
Yeah. All kinds of stuff that's really expensive that I'm thinking, why do I need this? See this here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me tell you how much that.
Aren't those adorbs?
Aren't they? That's the Alistair and Agatha gnomes, and they are $98 if you're interested.
For the pair or a piece?
Yeah, I think for the pair.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay.
Because I mean, poor Alistair without Agatha. And
yeah, you don't want that. You got to get the set.
It was Agatha all along.
Listen, having said that, if the people at Olive and Cocoa want to advertise, believe me, I'll do nice by them.
We'll do Olive, Cocoa, and Joe even. We don't care.
Yeah, suddenly those gnomes, that's reasonable.
Yeah. Hey, and speaking of people who support the show, Mike Mascow, our main Mascow, is joining us this afternoon too. So, hey, Mike.
Hey, Mike. Good to have you on board on so many levels, and I'll talk about his wonderful coffee and tea a little later. Okay, we all have Mega Millions. There it is, roasttoorder.shop. That's where you go. And we have Mega Millions fever. We were talking before we went on live here. Everybody associated with the show has bought a ticket, at least one ticket, or Leslie said she didn't spend any more than $200 this time on tickets. That's nice restraint.
Yeah, I mean, I have it all figured out. I ran the numbers, and this gives me a 1 in 320 million chance. So I'm thinking I'm feeling good about this. Hey,
somebody's going to win. Somebody's going to. Okay. Oh, yeah. What are we doing? We haven't started the show. Release that thing.
We all win when we
release that condom. Here it comes. There it goes. Watch it. Oh, wow. That took out the cat's eye.
Felt good.
I'll bet it did. That's the official start of the GarrForce Cocktail Show. And what is that wine?
It's a Kendall Jackson Unoaked Chardonnay today, kids.
Kendall Jackson. That's good. Very good. And we're going to talk about something that is in your background there when Ryan from Wisconsin comes on that he sent you.
Kind of looks like I got a crucifix up there, but
it's not. It's not. It is not a crucifix. Okay.
I got a crucifix in the other room, though.
I'm sure you do. Yes. We're all very religious on this program. Here's the dealio on the Mega Millions. Here are the states where you can remain anonymous. I think you should be able to remain anonymous when it gets above a certain amount in every place that sells these, but it's not the case. Here they are. Florida, they give you 90 days to stay anonymous. And then
wait, so if you're fast, you can be anonymous, but if you wait 4 months, you have to.
Yeah, they'll after 90 days, they're going to start exposing you if you come out. So I don't like that at all.
I'll let you guys know after I win. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
If Alan starts to act weird in the next few weeks, if the winner is picked tonight and it's from Florida.
Alan, why aren't you answering my calls? Yeah.
And the ticket was sold at a 7-Eleven near Disney World in Orlando. Okay, Alan.
That's Publix. Yes.
Yes. Okay.
He's gonna have solid gold mouse ears. No, nothing's changed in my life at all.
The following states you can stay anonymous forever. Georgia, I'm going to do it in my voice that I like. Georgia, Kansas, Minnesota, Mississippi, Missouri, Montana, New Jersey, North Dakota, South Carolina, Texas, Virginia, West Virginia, and Wyoming.
Okay. So can you cross state lines? Let's say
No,
I
you
win.
bought
I
it.
mean,
You already
'cause I
bought
have
it.
to.
But you already bought it in
Oh,
Illinois.
so I
Yeah.
can't just go to Missouri and go, hello, you
No,
folks
that's not how.
in Jeff
No.
City or no.
And Ryan bought his in Wisconsin. That's not on the list. Here's why you need to have it anonymous. I saw this and it was attached to the story of which states are anonymous. Last year, a guy in South Carolina sued to get the names and contact info and jackpot amounts of winners of $1 million or more from 2013 to 2014. A judge said, no, that's an invasion of privacy, and shut him down. That's the kind of creepazoid that's out there.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
and like we were saying, even the non-super creepazoids, everybody with a charity or a story is going to be giving you a call within the first week. Let's face it. If they know who you are, you're definitely on their list. Which is why, do you have the Guy Fawkes mask standing on the ready at this point?
Isn't that in November? But if I win, I see what you're saying. I'm going to go, with my Guy Fawkes mask to the lottery headquarters, or in a furry costume. I'm going to go as a schnauzer. If you see a giant schnauzer getting a big check, I won.
Look, that schnauzer seems like it's smiling. It is.
Yes. Lisa has checked in. She said, I met you 6 years ago at Italy. Italy is this big place in Chicago that sells all kinds of good food and things.
It's groceries, it's restaurant,
it's
a restaurant, if you will.
It's a restaurant. Yes, Lisa, I hope I was polite. That's my main goal, is just to be polite in life, because it's ugly out there. Recognize your voice, turned around, and I couldn't believe you were right behind me, sitting at a table with a friend. I don't think she can believe I have friends, is what she's saying.
He didn't butt into line.
Right.
He didn't steal things, touch cheese with his hands. Oh, I was surprised.
Hey, it's WGN Radio TV heavy tonight, Leslie. David Plyer from WGN Radio, who hosts the Frank Sinatra show on Sunday mornings and does a fabulous job. He's a good friend. And if you haven't checked that out, you can hear it on the stream. And last week, he played my favorite Sinatra song, Summer Wind. God, I love that song so much. And especially now, because he's going to share his cash if he wins. Thank you.
Well, that's
Thank
sweet,
you.
because he still has a job at WGN, unlike some people.
Here it comes. Every
Sorry.
time. Okay, every time we break bad, then we take a drink. Okay. Okay. Here's the bet. It's the last Friday in July. I'm really gonna get freaked out here in the coming weeks, because there's a point where you can't deny that the daylight is shrinking, and then you're sitting there and seeing leaves fall, and then you get these catalogs, this kind of thing in July for Halloween. Are you remotely thinking of? I saw a TV commercial today, and they featured a Christmas tree.
Okay, can I diverge for just a moment?
Go die.
Have you been seeing these lens crafters commercials with a lady in a spangly suit, and she thinks she's fabulous and she's getting glasses at lens crafters?
No, what?
And I'm
Why?
like,
What?
because it's Sharon Stone. I didn't realize that she is the new spokesmodel for lens
Really?
crafters, let alone that was Sharon Stone.
What is your real feeling about this?
I mean, she looks great, but she looks like anybody but Sharon Stone, as I remember her.
Okay. Now that I know this, here's how they should have done the commercial. She should be sitting there and have the glasses on, and then cross her legs or uncross them, and she's not wearing underwear, because that's her famous moment in Basic Instinct, right?
And at one point she is in the chair and she's wearing pants, but I was thinking the same thing. Like,
yes,
there was an opportunity missed.
Okay. Do I have to do everything here on the GarrForce? Well, if we do, we will. Damn. All right.
Maybe for that one.
Brian's talking about the 12-foot skeleton from Home Depot. They're apparently on display. Remember those from last year?
Yes. Bigger is better, we found, when it comes to skeletons. No, a 6-foot skeleton's not good enough.
6 foot. You got to go 12, and then next year it's 18.
Sure.
And then you have to have a blinking light on the top of it if you're near an airport because the plane might run into it. Bigger, go bigger. And that's kind of flowing into my feeling where if COVID had some effect where you could tell that somebody has COVID in public, then we'd be, I think, more, well, aware that it is around us, obviously. And that would be that people got 8 feet tall all of a sudden when they got COVID. Wouldn't that be great? Oh my God, there's a bunch of COVID over there.
But no, it's sneaky and lurky and apparently happening to everybody we know.
Yes.
Do you know people with COVID? I know.
Yeah, it's starting to really pop.
5
Some
right
listeners have emailed me, I got COVID, and yeah, family members, Sneaky and what was the other one?
now. Lurky. Oh, that morning
Sneaky
team.
and Lurky. That was the morning show where we worked. Yeah, Sneaky and
That's
Lurky.
right.
Hey, sadly, Tony Dow, aka Wally Cleaver, died twice this week. Wow.
That's right.
If you're not following that, they announced that Tony Dow had died and then retracted it, and then he died the next day. But I guess if you're Tony, you could feel good in that you got a lot of publicity, so you're still something. I have one encounter with Tony Dow. Years ago, Tony and Jerry came to Chicago to promote something beavery. And they had
Jerry
this
Mathers then.
Yes, Jerry
Oh.
Mathers, and they had a meet and greet at this restaurant. So I get there, and Tony and Jerry are in the corner, and there's a lot of people. There are a lot of people around them, and I'm walking towards Tony and Jerry, and Tony gets up, and he's walking right where I'm walking, and we start to pass each other. And I said, "Hey, Tony, how you doing?" He looks at me and he goes, "I'll be right back. I really have to take a piss." And now again, and I live in this fantasy world. I understand that. It's like Santa Claus on the toilet. I don't want certain images tampered with. This happened to me with Paul Rubens, aka Pee Wee Herman, when I first met him. I think he's going to be walking around like Pee Wee Herman all day. It's not that he's going to do that, but I believed it. And when I first met him, I said, "You're not Pee Wee Herman," because his hair was washed. And he's got a voice deeper than mine. "Hey, how you doing? I'm Paul Rubens. Where's Pee Wee? What have you done with Pee Wee?" And it ruins this whole thing. I don't know why I want to live in this fantasy world. I want to escape, obviously. But when Tony Dow said that, I went, "Oh my God, Wally said piss." And now the whole thing is goofed up.
And you can't unthink it now either.
No,
I mean, there's no way to separate the two. With that, we were talking about the heat wave in England in recent weeks and the fact that we drew this word picture of Queen Elizabeth sitting there and fanning her dress with her nylons rolled down.
Yes.
And now in my head, that's the way I'm imagining her in the evening. Some scuffy slippers, nylons rolled down, and then just flapping that dress.
With a Union Jack do-rag. Change your do-rag, Queen, every 5 minutes. Speaking of the hot weather, we were talking about Lake Mead in Nevada drying up, and they're finding all these gangsters. I would like Gordon Lightfoot, he's sleeping with the fishes. I would like Gordon Lightfoot to write a song about that. Lake Mead could be Lake Gitchy Goomba. And then the lake gave up her dead and the da-da-da-da when the casino rang 3 cherries. Okay, Gordon, he's still alive, right?
I think, well, let's find out. By the way, Denny Hastert is alive. That question came up in the pre-show, and you'll
see why that matters.
You'll know why. Yes.
You'll see. We'll tie that together later. It's like a Seinfeld episode. We have 3 things spinning, and at the end, we tie them all together. All right. Ooh, boy. All right. Wow. Okay, I think I'm having a good time. I alluded to this, the power tools that I use today. I like to use power tools in advance of the Friday cocktail show. I blew the patio. Ellen, stop it.
What's the largest thing that you've had in your throat? No, never mind.
That's right. And he opened with that. And I power washed the lawnmower. So I got a couple of those. Now, you saw a nice power washer yesterday, right? At an Ace?
I did. I was at an Ace Hardware and it was very reasonably priced. And some little boys came in, and it must be, like we've said, there's got to be something genetic going on with that boy vibe, because both of them ran to that power washer like it had magnets, boy magnets in it. And they were like, "Oh, Dad, can we get one of these?" And I could spray my brother with it. And I'm thinking, you could like take your brother's skin off with
Right.
that thing. But oh God, they were so excited over a power washer.
There's nothing.
Just adorable.
Well, there are a lot of things, but one of the best things about the power washer is taking that level of dirt right off as you scan whatever. They have, as you've seen, Leslie, you told me about these thousands of videos of people just power washing.
Go to Reddit, look at power washer porn. It's all over
There it is.
there. Yep.
OnlyFans, women in thongs power washing. There it is. That's your money shot. Nice.
Oh no, that's not your car wash idea. You've given up the scantily clad women for chimpanzees.
And we will show some of that when Ryan comes on. All right, from Wisconsin. And first, my guest, Marcus Leshock. Hello, Marcus.
Hello, how are you?
Good. He works for WGN-TV in Chicago, and he is on tour once in a while, going to different amusement parks and sampling roller coasters. Now, I'm assuming you were a roller coaster fan before you started working there, and you brought that with you on your resume, or did they say, hey, do you like roller coasters? Can we send you around the country and get your brain pan rearranged?
No, it was, I've always been a big fan since I was a kid. I was actually too scared to get on some of the bigger rides until I was much older. But so I was always a fan, but there was a ride that opened at Great America called X-Flight, a wing coaster there. And I did a story on that for WGN and went well. And I somehow convinced my boss to let me drive down to Missouri because this wooden roller coaster was opening down there called Outlaw Run. And it was like the first wooden roller coaster to go upside down multiple times. This company created this new technology. They're called Rocky Mountain Construction. I know you brought me on here to talk about this and geek out about all this. So I'm sorry. Just unplug me if you want at any time.
Well, if nothing else, Marcus, I want to hear it. So
okay,
no. What did I say? I want it. That's why I want.
No, all right, I got it. I just get in the weeds sometimes. But anyway, I went down there, and so I drove down. I did all this stuff for our website, like a blog about a travel blog kind of thing, going down there, and it got a lot of views online, and people really liked the ride, so they were like, yeah, let's keep doing this, So I kind of convinced them to do it at first, but then it got some good traffic. And you know how it is in media. If anything does well, they're like, sure. And I'm a pretty cheap date when I travel somewhere. I don't find the most expensive steakhouse to go eat at. And I don't, I fly the cheap flights and all that stuff just to keep it reasonable for my company. And so they say yes more than no. So it's been good.
See, here's how I had assembled this whole thing in my head. That you get the plane ticket, you say, I want to go to Kansas, and they fly you down, and you're in a hotel for 2 or 3 nights. Mm-hmm. Now I'm hearing you're Willie Loman, you're driving around, you're eating at the Ponderosa, and it's all very bare bones. And I had this, again, when Wally said, I got to take a piss, it ruins a couple things, but I'm going to go with it.
Yeah, it's sometimes it's like that. Like if I can drive somewhere, it's a lot easier for them. But, I go to Disney World. That's where I see Alan sometimes. And for that, it's a little bit, you can get a flight, especially when some of these rides open in, March. You get a flight going down to Orlando from Chicago for like $100 and something or $200 and something, or used to be able to at least until right now. But, so
you can't take a plane once in a while.
Yes, I'm allowed to take a plane every once in a while. It goes through a process of 8 layers of corporate until they reimburse me, and then it's fine. So.
Right. Marcus, can you stay at a Red Roof when you go to Oklahoma? We appreciate it. Okay.
You're gonna rent a car. Is that is there a back seat in there that you could potentially spread out in and maybe just rest in there?
Or maybe you can pick up some passengers. You could do an ad hoc Lyft or Uber.
Yeah, that's the WGN way.
Yeah,
WGN
I know it, brother.
way.
I've been there. Okay, before we completely beat your employer to where they call you in on Monday, let's look at some of the footage that you have shared with your listeners and viewers around the world, mostly viewers. Let's go. What do you got first, Alan, that I gave you?
Let me make sure I pronounce it right. It's the Val Raven. Is that
Val Raven at Cedar Point? It's a dive coaster.
Yeah, I've got it muted. You can talk over it.
Oh, okay.
Here we go.
Well, this was the first ride that I went on where it was actually live on the ride. So they have this technology now where they have all these cameras set up, and I've got my earpiece in like I have right now, and I'm actually talking to, Robin Baumgarten, Larry Potash, Paul Conrad while I'm riding the coaster.
Wow.
And I think what separates me from some of the other people in the media that do this, most of the time when you see somebody in the media get on a roller coaster, they're like, I'm so scared. Am I going to be able to make it or not? Eyes are closed the whole time. Where me, I'm here to tell you all about this ride, everything it's doing to your body, how high it is, how fast it is. And so I kind of commentate throughout the entire experience. And with these, you can actually talk back and forth with the anchor. So it turns into a lot of fun.
Wow.
But
so the cameras, they're already set up by the park.
Yeah.
You don't have to do any of that.
Oh, no. In this case, they have like a control. They have got a truck there, like a live truck, and they're mixing this live, sending it back to the
Look
station.
at this.
So
Watch this. I saw this before, and I thought, come on. Watch.
So you pause here. It's about 200 feet, and you look straight down. You hang there for a little while, and then whee! That's when it gets good. And this is an Immelman maneuver right here. It's called an Immelman maneuver. As Paul Conrad called it, an enema maneuver.
That's what I would call it.
Yeah. So it's a lot of fun. It's a good time.
Is it?
I love it. I love it. Listen, if I could just do this full time and quit all the other news and everything else I do,
Oddly enough, though, Marcus, working at any radio or TV station these days is like a roller coaster ride. I don't need to add to that if I work at any of these places. They turn you around pretty quickly and hard.
Yeah, I will say, and I'm not just saying this because I'm employed by them, obviously, but GN-TV has been awesome. And I think the secret of our show's success in the morning is that they just let us do our thing there. We don't have anybody micromanaging us, breathing down our necks, saying you can't say this or say that, wear this, wear that. I hear these stories from other stations, and it's like, man, that sounds miserable. And they've said, listen, you have success here. You guys kind of push it right to that line of without getting phone calls from the FCC and all that.
Yeah.
And where to hover right around there. So we're not getting lawsuits and people protesting outside. And people like it, I think, because we're real. We're just ourselves. We don't act like we're somebody else. If we're
all right, Marcus, let me tell you where the line is, because I worked on the original configuration of the show you're on about 15 years ago now, 15, 25, whatever it was. And I'm doing what kind of stuff that you're doing, but not roller coasters. So one day, and you're in this building that's been there many years, and I looked outside the building and there was garbage all over the place, and it was spring. So I said, well, there's spring cleaning that's going to go on here at WGN-TV. And I went around and I kind of goosed some of the stuff up to make it look worse. Well, it ran. And then the next day I get called into the office. Hey, the tower called, and that was their code for the Tribune Tower in Chicago. That's where WGN's headquarters was. And when the tower calls, it's like a guard tower, a sniper tower. And when you hear that, you're pretty much going to get whacked. And they didn't like that. So I found the line back then.
They didn't like that you were cleaning up the place, huh?
Well, it was all a joke. But here's the funny thing. As the show went on, all those years later, people were doing crazier stuff. And I looked at it and went, come on. What I did was nothing.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah. I think now Paul does this all the time. He'll go in places, the places in the building that are duct taped up. He'll go in live and be like, look at this. This wonderful window here it's got cardboard on it. And
that's funny. Well, somebody had to blaze a trail, I guess. Let's look at the next one that I gave you, Alan. This is called what?
This is Yukon Striker. It is the world's tallest dive coaster. So this is another one of the same type of coasters. But this one's in Canada at Canada's Wonderland, which is a really awesome park, like right outside Toronto. So I drove up there, actually, drove through across the border and everything else.
Stayed at the Red Roof of Canada.
Yeah, I did. It wasn't that bad. It was like I want to say like a 6-hour drive or something. Like I found that to be somewhat enjoyable, actually. I've never driven over the border there, so that was an interesting experience. But
here we go.
Again, this is one of those, you get to the edge and you pause and you hang there for a while. So this is like the money shot of the ride. And this one's cool because you drop into a tunnel right under the water there. Man, it is just, that's the feeling right there. That's where like the whatever in your brain hits, where you get the real adrenaline and excitement gets going. Another great Immelman there. Like that is just
an Immelman again. What is it? What is the definition of that?
Right. So Immelman, I believe, was a pilot. So back in World War II, I want to say. So it was a maneuver where you would be flying. So you'd be flying like this, and then to kind of evade your enemy, you would go upside down like this and then rotate over and go the other way. So you're like going straight, and then you're coming up, and then you're rotating, and then you're going the other way. So these roller coaster designers have kind of incorporated that movement, and they call it, an Immelman. So you're kind of going up, and then you're turning, and then going the other way. So.
And you're all by yourself on this one. Is that before the park opened? And
yeah.
why are you with some people sometimes and not other times?
Right. So on the media days, they do these. This was another one where they had their cameras already set up. And on the media days, you get access to the park before the public does. So sometimes they bring in like roller coaster enthusiasts, like the American Coaster Enthusiasts will come in. They'll fill the train so it looks full. Sometimes they just do it with media members and put us on the train. But in this case, it was just me on the ride. So we call that a Zen ride in the enthusiast world. If you ever get on a coaster just by yourself, it's a Zen ride. So I got a Zen ride on Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind at Epcot when I was there for the media day. A bunch of Zen rides on that. Alan was there for that day. That's that new spinning one that launches backwards, and then you kind of spin indoors, and there's video screens all over the place. That's a crazy ride. It's a really cool ride.
When you get off of these rides, Marcus, how long does it take for your kidneys to go back to where they belong?
I don't have any problem with coasters. I don't like spinning stuff. Sometimes gets me, but I think because I've kept riding over the years, I'm good. I hear from people who like used to ride back when they were kids, and then they try again like 10, 15 years later, and it messes them up. So I think like just that my body's used to going through the motions and the G's and all that stuff. I've been pretty good, but I just find it to be, I'm not crazy about heights. Like if I was up on my roof, I would freak out. But just being secure, I know I'm safe. I know there's so many safety measures on these rides. There's sensors all throughout the coaster, and I'm going to get the thrill of my life knowing that I'm safe and strapped in. And so many people have done the work and the engineering to make sure that I'm going to be safe, and it's fun to me. Like
what's the goal with these, to get higher and higher, or have you maybe go through a whole bee's nest at some point to add to the thrill? Where are they going with this? How high can they go, and how can they top each other? And then I want you to assemble your favorite 3 or 4 coasters around the country.
Sure. And this was a great moment for me. That's me and my dad, 87 years old, riding Phoenix. That's a wooden roller coaster at a park called Knoebels, which is in Pennsylvania, near where my dad grew up. That was his home park. So we traveled out there, and we went and rode that together. And that's where he grew up, going on coasters. You could see 87 years old still doing it. So that was really awesome.
That's what I hate when I go to an amusement park and my daughter will say, "Hey, let's go on that roller coaster." "Oh, I don't want to." And then there's some 90-year-old man or woman standing there. You go, that's where I get really kind of put down as, well, I'm a wimp.
Right. So to answer your question, though, there was a time like in the 2000s when there was like the roller coaster wars where everyone was getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Millennium Force came out of Cedar Point, 300 feet. Now the tallest coaster is about 325 feet. It's a regular steel coaster called Fury 325. So that's about the tallest traditional coaster. There is a coaster at Six Flags Great Adventure called King to Ka that's about 400 and I want to say 40 feet or something like that. It's a launch coaster where you launch, you go straight up in the air, and then you just come straight back down. So I wouldn't say, there's been talks about these polar coasters being built where it's like just a big like observation tower, and then the track kind of wraps around it, where you could get 500 plus feet, starting on that and just coming down from there. I don't really know that there's a limit on height necessarily. It's just, it costs money. It costs money, and it takes space to put these rides in. The bigger they are, the more space they take and the more they cost. So I'm noticing the trend with a lot of parks now is going less toward like height and speed and more toward like cool theming and just unique elements. Like I mentioned about Guardians of the Galaxy at Epcot. It's not the tallest and fastest coaster anywhere, but it's indoors and it launches backwards and there's video all over the place. So it's an experience that's completely unique to anything else.
Going backwards. You like going backwards? That again, I don't say, here you go. You're going.
See, this was cool because that's one of those tall launch coasters I was talking about, and that's called a rollback. So the ride's supposed to go up and make it over the top, but sometimes if it's too cold or the wind hits at the wrong time, you don't make it all the way over, and then they've got to launch you again. I had 2 rollbacks in a row on this. That is like unprecedented and unheard of. And they told me another story, which was a good story. So when this launches and it goes to the top, there's like an arch at the top where the coaster goes over. A couple of times the coaster has like stalled up there just because of physics. So think of this top right there. Imagine the coaster just stopping up there, and then it doesn't move. It doesn't go anywhere. Well, there's a little elevator that then an operator will get in the elevator. He'll go to the top and actually get out and kick the coaster over.
That's
like
great.
Kick it over so it just goes over the top, which would be like the pinnacle to me, to have that experience to happen. That would be incredible.
Call it the Pinnacle. That's the name of it, the Pinnacle.
Yeah, and you're safe. You're strapped in. It's not going anywhere. You're just sitting up there. But imagine the view, 420 feet in the air, and then some guy comes up and just pushes you over the top. That's good stuff.
What are your favorite 3 or 4?
I want to say my favorite number 1 coaster right now is a Velocicoaster down at Universal Orlando. It's the Jurassic World themed coaster. It's got multiple launches. It's got one of those cool like top hat elements like you just saw. And it's just everything in it. It's not the tallest and fastest, but the way it's themed, like the money they put into the theming of the ride, the maneuvers it does over the water. Anybody who's been on it knows what I'm talking about. It is just a perfect ride from start to finish. It is smoother than smooth. It is just, it is an incredible, incredible ride. Steel Vengeance on its Cedar Point, which is a Rocky Mountain construction, like wood steel hybrid, is really great. The Lightning Rod ride at Dollywood is amazing. That's another one. It's a wooden coaster that used to be wood. They kind of converted it to steel now, but it launches you up a hill as you go through the terrain in the mountains there. I would say those are probably my top 3. There's it changes every day. That Phoenix coaster has a sentimental thing for me because my dad and I rode that, and that's where he grew up. And that's a great traditional wooden coaster. There's nothing like those old wooden coasters with the great airtime where you're coming out of your seat and they're a little rickety and fun.
Where in Pennsylvania is that?
It's in Elysburg, Pennsylvania. So my dad grew up in a town called Shamokin. It's like the eastern part of Pennsylvania, kind of near Allentownish, I guess you would say, like around that area, like eastern Pennsylvania.
This roller coaster is Shamokin.
Yeah, it is Shamokin. That's right.
If Marcus had a radio show in France and it was a naughty show, he would be a Leshock jock. That's what they would call him. He is on WGN-TV, and that show is on every morning. If you're in Chicago, that's what you watch every morning. They have a huge audience, and he does a very nice job on everything he covers. Marcus, I appreciate you visiting.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate that.
And because of your visit, you're going to get a $50 gift card from roasttoorder.shop. Roast to Order Coffee and Tea.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we do here.
I love it. Thank you.
All right. Brian, he's a fan. Brian says you're the perfect guest for yappetizers and cocktails. Yeah. All right.
Awesome. Thank you, Brian.
Marcus, thank you for doing this.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right. Marcus Leshock. Leslie, I don't know. Do you ride roller coasters?
I used to. And now that I realize it, the last roller coaster I was on was the Shockwave at Great America, which is north of Chicago in the suburb of Garry. If Marcus was on it, it would be Shockwave. And I don't think it exists anymore. That's the saddest thing ever. Because oh my God, that should be his signature ride.
Yes.
But, oh, well.
Okay. All right.
No, yeah. These days, no. I think I keep waiting to hear the snap of my spinal column, and I'm just not loving it the way I used to.
Just watching that when it's right at the edge and you can't even see where it's going, and you go in that tunnel. Ugh.
I love the fact that they have renamed malfunction a rollback.
A rollback, yeah.
Yeah. No, it didn't malfunction. It's a rollback, ladies and gentlemen. You get a little extra ride out of this.
And if I'm on a Shockwave, I'll just go to the grocery store and start looking at the prices. And oh my God.
There you go.
Well, let's roll some of these prices back. What do you say?
Oh, Lordy.
All right. Okay. We shall move on. We got a lot to do yet. And I want to pay homage to the fine sponsors of the program. First, Bettenhausen Automotive is where you should buy your new or used car. Alan?
Summer is what you make of it. And Bettenhausen Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram in Tinley Park has your new Jeep Grand Cherokee with 0% for 48 months, plus $1,500 bonus cash. Lease a new 2022 Jeep Grand Cherokee for $349 per month. Killer whales kill, hot coffee is hot, sharks swim in the ocean, and it's the Make This the Summer event at Bettenhausen in Tinley Park. Your best car buying experience starts now at BettenhausenCDJR.com.
Thanks to Chuck, who produces those, for using some of my phrases from the coffee mug. That's on the actual commercial, not just on this show where they run in the Chicago area. That's funny. Thank you. There's the GarrForce merchandise. Yeah, the coffee mugs where I have sharks live in the ocean. Yeah, and if I hear of one more shark attack, where was it? In the ocean? Okay, next.
Yeah.
If
Jersey.
it's in your yeah. If it's in your bathtub, okay, now we have a story.
Well, and that's it. It's New Jersey is reporting. Well, it wasn't like it was in a gas station. It still was in the water. So
Right.
yeah.
I went to pump gas and I'm just standing there, and the next thing I know, there's a shark with a gun on my back. Huh? That's a story. Yes.
That's a story.
If you're looking for a mortgage, a refi, or anything related to that, this is the guy, David Hochberg. I've known him a long time, and he gets it done. He's a no-nonsense guy, and he saves you money. Do you like saving money? I think you do. And with the market being what it is,
Like a roller coaster.
I know, a roller coaster. He told you months ago when he was on, it's in the threes, the rate's in the threes. If you are thinking, you're ready, do it. Now they raise the rate again. So you have to call David to get some semblance of what's going on. He'll give you that free consultation. Call those numbers right there, and he'll help you out with the consultation. He'll say, this is what you got to do. And then hopefully you'll do business with Team Hochberg. It's all good there. Crazy times. You need somebody like David to guide you. All right. Every day I start with my roast to order coffee. I have to start the day like that. Otherwise the day it's too frenetic. I got to have some calm to start the day. I put the coffee in the machine, and then I turn on my double beaver, and now my day has some sense that it's going to be okay, and it will be for you too if you order roast to order coffee or tea. Oh, you don't drink coffee or tea. How about a gift card to somebody who does? They'll appreciate this. It's such a wonderful thing. They've got accessories. They've got a brews letter that saves you money when you sign up for that. They have the pods. If you like those pods, yeah. Mike Maskow has those pods, and they're recyclable. He gets the best beans. They're organically grown, and they save the rainforest, and the farmers who do the coffee that he buys, they get a fair wage. What else do you need to know? It's all good. Roast to order, coffee and tea. There's the mug amongst the roast to order mugs. Go to roasttoorder.shop. They ship around the country. It'll be there in a couple days. You'll get this box and the aroma from the box. And then you open the box, and then you open the bags, and the aroma just comes wafting out. roasttoorder.shop.
Did you get a little endorphin push by giving away a gift card today?
When I talked to Mike and he said, hey, when you have a guest on, would you like to give away a gift card? Oh, yeah. So, so Marcus is getting one. Jenna's going to get one. And anybody else that comes on the show as a guest.
In the name of synergy, on a future appearance by Jenna, we should do a coffee cocktail of some sort.
Yeah.
We've got synergy right there.
All right. And listen, we will bring her up now, and she can tell us how possible that is, because she can make anything out of anything. Jenna Duddleson, the official bartender of the GarrForce, welcome.
Hello, guys. Can you hear me? I hope you can. We can definitely make some coffee cocktails. We can make some espresso cocktails. We can make cold brew cocktails. And I realized when I was looking at the title for the show, when you had coasters, I thought you meant these coasters.
That was a choice when I wrote the title.
You meant roller coasters.
Okay.
So this is the closest coaster I've been to in a very long time. And we're going to use the coaster to make today's drink as the landing point, we'll say.
Are those the coasters you have at the family bar in Chicago?
Oh, absolutely not. These are way too fancy for Chinook's Pub. Way too fancy.
Okay.
No, we have the coasters there are just like paper ones. And what we've actually ended up doing, because Garry, you might know this, we're cash only, and a lot of people will leave their money on the bar and then they just leave it there and they sit or they walk away. And I know whose pile is under each coaster. And now I will write people's names on the coaster so I don't mess up people's money order, because we don't take credit cards or debit cards, because, you know, we've been there since 1938. Like you're lucky we have an ATM machine in house.
All you have to say is ATM machine. I don't mean to criticize, and I'm not. ATM, and you're done. It's ATM. Yeah. Automatic teller machine, right?
Automatic teller machine. We got that. But I always say cash is king. I grew up on the motto that cash is king, and the motto of how much does it cost in cash. So I'm amazed at how many people don't carry cash these days.
Well, yeah. And is that real difficult when people come in? And I'm sure you have a sign outside the bar that says cash only. And does that discourage people?
I don't think it does. I think it can be annoying, but for the most part, it's like, we don't take cash and we have an ATM right down. Just like literally take a hop, a skip, and a step over there, guys.
You don't take credit, you mean?
We don't take. I mean, it's
you said
just
we don't
cash.
Take cash, right? You said we don't. Take cash.
Sorry.
Right,
just cash, no card. But yeah, on opening day, like White Sox opening day, I just want it like tattooed on my forehead, because I probably said it a million times within a 4-hour span. But you know, it is what it is. But again, I prefer cash. It's a total sidebar. Yeah.
I still like that dirty paper, as Bugsy Siegel called it. Okay, you have come up with a drink that just the title sounds delicious.
Yes.
Irish lemonade.
So as I think many of you know, I'm a whiskey lover. And to me, whiskey and fall and winter go together just like a beautiful marriage. And sometimes you don't always want whiskey in the summertime, but I still do. So I thought, how can we make it refreshing where you're not getting too warm drinking it? Because whiskey has that tendency to like warm you up. So basically what we're going to do is you are going to take my favorite Jameson. I'm very good at shooting this back on a Saturday night. And we're going to do 1.5 ounces. I prefer a small glass. You obviously can do a tall glass or a small glass. And the beauty of that, guys, is depending on how strong you want your drink, then change the size. So if you want your drink a little bit stronger, shorter glass. If you don't want it as strong, put it in a taller glass. So 1.5 ounces. We are then going to take some mint, okay, like 2 sprigs of mint. And again, just super floral and summery. Smack it, drop it in. Smack in the mint, Gary. Smack in the mint, okay?
Smack in the mint here, boss.
Smack in the mint. Take some ice. We're going to fill her on up. And then we're going to take some lemonade. And we're just going to do halfway. Just a little bit. Again, whatever lemonade you prefer. And then lastly, everyone should always have ginger beer in their house. And especially if you have kids around, like ginger beer is fun for them to drink because it has beer in the title, but there's obviously no alcohol in it. So keep ginger beer around and a kid will feel really fancy drinking this. And then you're just going to top it off with some ginger beer. Okay, just a little bit. Add some nice little bubbles. Take a lemon wheel. And then lastly, if you are at the point that I'm at in my drinking career and you've started growing your own garnishes on your porch because you're sick of buying mint and basil from the store, that's what you do. And then you just put her on in.
That's pretty.
And then that is that, guys. And it's so beautiful. And again, what I love too is mint is such a floral and simple like ingredient to add to any drink, and it just makes it look better, and it makes it look just like a little bit fancier without doing like all this extra work.
Nice. Well, cheers. And
cheers.
Here's to July.
Cheers to July, right?
What a month.
What a month that went by way too fast.
Yeah, the whole damn summer, as it does. And Jenna will be getting a $50 gift card from roast2order.shop.
I love coffee so much, so I'm so down for this.
Good. You're going to really like this coffee too. And then, as Alan mentioned, maybe next time if you want to do some kind of coffee thing.
Oh, absolutely. I was going to say once I come back on in August, I'll come up with a coffee cocktail. I have a few. I actually already have a few in mind, so we'll get the wheels spinning.
Okay, and if you're in the Chicago area, Jenna's bar is on her shirt there. That's the bar.
That's the bar, Shinnick's Pub, located right in the shadows of Comiskey Park, or as it's called now, Guaranteed Right Field. I will never call it that. It just sounds like word vomit coming out of my mouth.
I know. But I call it Sears Tower I'm going to Sears Tower to see the ball game. That's what I do.
I actually just was at the Sears Tower yesterday, and when I was going to an event, and they were like, "It's at the Willis Tower," and I was like, "The what?" Like,
The
I'm like,
what?
I can't. I know, and I'm like, you're like my age. Like, you should be calling it the Sears Tower. Why are
Yeah.
you calling it Willis? This is just wrong.
Do you remember the department store Montgomery Ward?
No.
Anybody remember that? Okay, here I go. I'm wandering
Me
into.
either. What are you talking about, Gary?
Uh-oh, I've wandered into Google territory. Google it. And the reason I'm mentioning this because my father and all of his generation would call it Monkey Ward, and I don't know why. And that's what we do, and we are doing it with these buildings and things.
Yeah.
So Monkey Ward. He
like
would say,
think
"Monkey, I'm going to Monkey Ward." Okay.
Monkey Ward. But like, it's like Lakeshore Drive is now DuSable something. Like, are people actually going to call it
Yeah.
that eventually?
Jean-Baptiste Point du Sable. Yeah. It's
That's
like,
it. Yeah.
You can't put it on a check. Well, who writes checks either? Maybe people who pay with cash. But
Okay.
yeah, it's too much.
My idea for expressways, and all cities across the country could use some extra cash. Sell sponsorship. Don't put a name on there like they did with Chicago. That's not going to bring in any revenue. Coca-Cola Lakeshore Drive. Okay. Sell your expressways. Let's go.
There we go.
There's no harm in that.
Gary for mayor. Look at that.
I'm an idea guy. That's what I do.
Yeah.
The problem too is when they change the name too often. There used to be well, there still is an arena out in Hoffman Estates, Illinois. And for a while it was the Sears Center. And just, I don't know, like last week or something, they changed it to the Now Arena. And it says Now on the side. But like if somebody came up to you and said, "I'll meet you at the Now Arena," would you know where you're going?
No. But
no
chance.
The highest bidder wins, and you get your name on something. That's how that works. It doesn't matter.
I like the idea of Coca-Cola Lakeshore Drive.
Coca-Cola Lakeshore Drive.
Sounds smooth.
There it is.
Hey,
well, what's that?
Jenna, you're not the only one with the coaster thing, because we've got some new stuff going into the fun bag this week, including this special Moose Lodge commemorative coaster from 1978-79.
Wow.
And I think just because coasters seem to be the theme, that's going in today's prize package.
Wow.
I
Okay.
love that.
All right, here we go. And this with the wine condom. This is a good segue into Ryan from Wisconsin. Ryan is mobile, and you know how they have Civil War reenactments? Ryan is reenacting Silence of the Lambs. He's in his van, and he's put a cast on.
I am.
And he's going to try to encourage a young woman to help him put a sofa in the back of the van. And he does this every summer. It's his thing.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, that's
You've
what he
got
does.
cardboard for the windows, though, to obscure
Yes,
her.
I have the
He will be
shades
covering
drawn.
those soon. Okay.
Yes.
Hey, with that, just before we do this, so can we start with a hashtag coaster for the giveaway?
Yeah.
Some people have already decided that should be
Okay,
the
well then
hashtag.
that's what it is.
I like that hashtag.
Yeah, it seems like it's the way to
Hashtag
go.
coaster if you want to queue up to win the wine condom and the coaster. Hashtag coaster in the chat area there.
But
we'll
there's
pick,
more.
but wait, there's more. And at the end of the show, the computer will pick the winner. If you've won before, can you let somebody else win, please? Thank you. Okay.
Okay. Oh, wait. With that, one of our previous winners, Walter, decided that he has won other things in the past. So he is gifting his prize from 2 weeks ago, which was
She still has it.
bacon stickers with the Jim Peterick guitar pick taped to it.
Okay.
And it's going to Donna Locarcio. You've been gifted a prize package. So if you want to text Gary with your deets, we'll definitely send that out to you. He wants you to have this.
Yes. All right. Walter, glad you're willing to give something up.
That's nice.
That's good. We give it to Donna now. Okay. Last weekend, Ryan's wife and son were out of town. And what that means is Ryan gets in his Waukesha mobile and goes on a road trip. And he headed down to Aurora, Illinois. Wayne's World, and
time.
because you
Excellent.
wanted to visit this place that Leslie had been to, you had never been there before?
I had never been there before, and I, prepped my dad a week ahead of time and said, "Hey, do you want to go on a little road trip to Aurora?" And he said, "Sure." So I had a partner in crime.
And you wanted to go because you heard Leslie talk about it and were intrigued.
Correct. And my dad is always on the lookout for records, vinyl, 45. He likes the 45s, anything kind of retro records. So he was hoping to dig into some records, which ended up, he was there an hour digging in records and found some records from the Beach Boys and Les Paul. So he was in heaven in the back room. He never really came out of the back room. I kept going like, are you still back there? Are you live? Oh yeah, I just got to look for a few more.
Now, Scott, who has assembled this fine boutique,
yes,
has come up with some real oddities, and you found that shoe measuring device that we had been talking about for weeks, and you bought it, and then you sent it to Leslie because she seemed like she wanted it, and I would imagine the postage cost more than what you paid for it.
Actually, I didn't pay for it. Scott was nice enough. He paid it out of his own money. I was just in the transport business, so that is a gift from Scott, courtesy of Ryan.
Leslie, how many times have you measured your foot?
Twice.
Yeah.
It hasn't changed.
This all started because I was talking about when I was a kid and I put my foot in that. And then when the guy, it was always a guy, I don't know what that's about, but he would take that side piece and I thought, "Ooh, Papa, I kind of like the feel of that."
Yeah, this
and
one,
at 8 years old, I don't know what that means.
Yep.
And
Well,
look at the
having
size of
not
it.
used one, but you realize you put your left heel down here to measure your left, and then you just turn it
Right,
over.
it's brilliant,
and
but
it measures your right foot.
There's more metal in that than the cars that were in East Germany before the wall fell. If you remember when the wall came down and these cars made out of tinfoil started rolling out, I'll never forget that.
Oh no.
Look at the size of that thing.
And it was in very good shape, and Scott said, Leslie's got to have it. Leslie's got to have it. He bartered with his friend, I think, it was owned by his friend. So he did a little bartering with his friend and got it for $20 and said, "Can you get it to Leslie?" And I said yes, along with the Denny Hassert bag and all that other fine stuff he sent.
Okay, is the Denny Hassert bag going out this week too?
Should it?
Well, you already teased it earlier.
Now that
You
we're
were alluding
talking
to
about
it.
We talked about it only because Scott put together quite an interesting catch here.
Yeah. Okay. What?
Denny Hassert.
That's a Halloween
your
candy
Congress
bag.
garbage bag.
That was a candy bag?
Well, he said it was for Halloween. He said it was a Halloween for trick or treat bag. That was a
Okay,
trick or
give
treat.
the backstory on this guy
that's
if people don't know. Leslie, tell people what this guy's all
Speaker
about.
of the House, Denny Hassert, who we didn't know it at the time, but he was also a high school coach at one point and put at some point somebody should have thrown up a red flag here when he put a recliner in the locker room, the boys' locker room, and used to sit back and watch the young men change and shower. And there were all sorts.
Right, and a red flag was all he had on his lap.
Yeah.
In
addition,
okay,
I'm throwing some stuff inside there, so you can do what you want with Denny. But there is the fortune teller fish. I'm throwing in 2 of those. An American flag patch, a utility patch, and it's a Bob's Big Boy card signed by the big boy himself. So and it looks authentic. I think you can take it to Scott and have it authenticated, but I'm pretty sure it's real.
Okay.
So,
Ryan, do you have photos of your visit?
I do, and unfortunately, Gary, he sold the alien for $2,800. So it's
okay. Do you have a
gone.
picture of the alien in the plexiglass box?
Yeah. So this is the first slide of Scott and myself there. You can see half of the raccoon there. So that's
wait. Where am I looking? There's so much to look at. I don't even know where to focus.
Go right. The panel that we're not in, bottom corner.
Okay.
That's only one head of the 2-headed raccoon, huh? Okay.
All right.
And then if I go to the next slide, there's the alien, Gary, that you talked about under glass.
And he sold that For $2,800.
Yes.
And what's it made out of?
I don't know.
Alien.
It's a regular. Okay,
Yeah.
it's a real alien. You son of a bitch. Listen, asshole. It's a real alien.
Yeah, right.
It would only be worth a couple $100 if
Right.
it weren't a
Yeah.
real one.
If it was rubber, it wouldn't be worth shit.
And in the other panel there is where all the records were. This is in the back room of the store. If you went there, my dad just got lost for hours and hours. So there is a very vast wealth of things you can explore there. And we probably could spend another hour there. But he said, I got to temper myself. I can't buy all the records. So.
Wait, Scott is correcting us. He says that is not the alien.
Oh, that's not the alien.
Oh, that's
Well, what's
just
that then? Oh my God.
I don't know what that is.
Creepy baby.
That's something. That's something that.
Baby.
Wait, that's something Dennis Hastert.
For $800.
That's something Dennis Hastert worked on.
Yeah, Scott sent me those pictures, so I harvested them and thought that was the alien. So no, that is not.
What do you got, Jenna? You seem to have an album or something.
I do. My sister got this for me for Christmas. I'm a huge Amy Winehouse fan, and she's live at the BBC. But there's one problem missing, and it's that I don't have a record player.
Okay, that'll
so
help.
I'm like, it's on the list of things to get. It's not
You can get a turntable fairly cheaply these days.
Yeah, I just haven't. I'm very particular, and I haven't found one that I like. And if my aunt was listening to this, she would know why. And it's because like everything in my place has to match, and I just haven't found one that matches everything. So.
And why isn't she watching this? Do we know?
I don't. She's working at the bar tonight, actually. So
that's a good excuse. I'll give her that excuse.
Yes.
Okay. Scott assembled all this stuff, and it's just the craziest menagerie of things.
Yes.
And now he's sharing with you guys.
And if you want to visit Scott's and look at all his wares, he's open Sunday 11 to 4. So if you have something want to do something on Sunday, you can go. He'd probably sell you a couple more Dennis Hastert bags. I believe he had a few more. So
okay. It's only open Sundays 11 to 4.
Yes, 11 to 4. Yes. But as I say, speaking of work, if you bring up the picture, Alan, there's the still photo of the chimps washing the car. And I found a picture of them washing dogs. So they do as good a job on dogs as they do on cars.
A listener sent me this TikTok vid of monkeys washing a car. And I looked at it and I thought, oh my God, if I could hire monkeys to get a car wash going, I would. Because look at, if you could see that one in motion doing the rims, he was really doing a good job. And rims usually, because a lot of creases and stuff, that monkey was in the crease. And I'm sure, look at the dog. A monkey's washing me.
Wait,
that is a beautiful expression.
Yeah.
Is it, or is that dog going, holy shit, there's a monkey washing?
I think, wait a minute.
2 monkeys washing them. I only got the still. It was actually 2 of them descending
2 monkeys.
on this poor dog.
I think animals prefer another animal to wash them. It's like when you go to get a massage, some prefer a woman, some prefer a man. And I think an animal prefers another animal washing them because they know.
Yeah, this dog is worried about how he's going to tip these two, though. That's the problem.
Ryan, where do you find this? Like, what is your Instagram or TikTok algorithm that this is what's popping up?
Well, I went looking for the monkey for the car wash one to get still photos, and it said, "Hey, if you like them washing cars, you'll like them washing a dog." You know, and I thought, "Oh, I got to stop there. I can't go any farther than that."
You know, my dream video is a monkey power washing. Yeah.
Well, let me get on that.
Yeah, I'm sure there is one.
So you got to be careful.
Or someone will make it up. There will be a deep fake of Tom Cruise
go in the depths
and a monkey power washing. Yes.
The depths of YouTube, you got to watch out because you go down. First they'll be washing dogs, and then it'll turn into an OnlyFans.
Yes. Not
Weird
much was
rabbit holes.
happening until
Weird
the monkey
rabbit
started.
holes.
What's that?
I said it's falling down some strange rabbit holes, and when you go down Alice's rabbit hole, you can't get out of it.
Yeah,
and
rabbit hole.
Down
a monkey down in the rabbit hole washing a rabbit. I want to see that. All right, Scott. The Scott guy intrigues me. Where would you find an alien in a plexiglass box, a shoe measuring device, 2-headed raccoon, and then albums in the back room?
And a pony in formaldehyde.
And a pony in formaldehyde.
And Dennis Hastert memorabilia.
Yeah.
I mean, who has that? That was like
one of you lucky winners.
I know.
Will have it.
That was
nice.
like he said, "Hey, did you see what I put in there?" And I pulled it, and I said, "It's a Denny Hastert bag."
Yes.
Golly.
Wow.
Yes, and there was quite a few folks coming in and walking around, and they were younger families that were in there. So he invited me to come back with Hank. So that's going to be an adventure when I bring that little young man in that store.
Yes.
Jada Pinkett Smith is not giving these out
No,
during
no,
her round
no.
table, red
No.
table discussions. Oh,
No.
no. You're not going to find this on any other podcast out
No,
there.
even though they have millions of viewers, okay, they're not giving away the good stuff like we are.
Hell no.
No.
Bastards.
Absolutely not.
So
right.
this weekend I'm headed to the great up north, as they say. We're going up north to Sturgeon Bay for the weekend. So maybe I'll run into some characters up there. That's why I'm broadcasting from my secret
what's
van
in
here.
Sturgeon Bay? What's the attraction?
My wife's boss has a home there and said, "Hey, do you want to go up for the weekend?" So we got in the car and it was kind of a last minute trip. So
okay. All right.
Is this gonna be like Mr. Mom and you just catch them in flagrante kind? No, of course not. Because your wife is a charm.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
you were invited from the very beginning,
yes,
right?
We were.
Just
It was
wondering.
kind of a last minute decision. So that's why I'm parked at a rest area here, broadcasting from the van with the shades drawn.
Okay, we still have the Wisconsin report. We should roll that now, Alan.
Welcome aboard the Dreamliner.
It's Wisconsin, hey.
It's the only way to fly.
Hello, everyone. It's Ryan. I'm going to tell you what's going on in Wisconsin this week. Here at the GarrForce, we like everything around air travel, airplanes, and the whole ball of wax. Well, you've probably heard of Oshkosh, Wisconsin, and the EAA Air Venture that goes on every year. Well, they're touting they're the busiest airport during this time, and all the air traffic controllers handle more planes than any other airport in the United States. During the festival, they land more than 17,000 planes, and at most time they have 16 air traffic controllers on duty in groups of 4 handling all the traffic. They tout many times they have lines of 300 planes in a queue waiting to land. That's a lot of planes. And it also says, hey, air travel's pretty safe, so these news stories about the airlines, about landing and having a tire blowout isn't really a big deal because look at how much air travel across the United States happens without an issue. Switching gears a little bit, it's my favorite time of the year for the Wisconsin State Fair. Each year they introduce new food products that are either good to some people or maybe gross to others. I want to highlight a few here. One has a drinking theme. It's a brandy old-fashioned s'more on a stick. They say it tastes like brandy old-fashioned, the drink, but it has the fluffy marshmallow texture. I'm not sure how that would taste, and I don't really like brandy old-fashions, but if that's in your wheelhouse, that would be a good choice. Moving to a little more exotic is the bug apple on a stick. It is an apple covered with chocolate and other toppings, which also have June bugs, crickets, and worms throughout the apple. So you get the little crunch of the bugs, but then the flavor of a candy apple. Finally, if you want a little more brats, we're famous here in Wisconsin for brats, you can have a brat with honey mustard and gummy bears on it. Out of those 3, that would be the one I might try when we go to the fair. They have 80 new foods to try at the state fair this year. So if you look that up online, you'll see the other ones. These are the ones I wanted to highlight that were kind of funny and exotic. Hope you have a great rest of the weekend, and we'll talk soon.
Eagle 3842, Chicago approach, shut up.
I have always wanted to go to that Oshkosh Air Show. That sounds really incredible.
Yes, everybody that goes, I heard 2 or 3 people today talking about they were going up there to spend the weekend, and they said it's just a blast.
They had the Concorde in there at one point. Yeah, that came in.
And I sent Gary a picture of the Concorde. I was watching an old 80s show on the Hallmark Channel, and they were coming in from France on the Concorde.
The Concorde from France.
There's one right behind you right now.
That's
Mr.
my
Meier.
plane.
There you go.
That's it. That's the GarrForce plane officially. All right, where are we? Should we do some stories or skip to the give? What do you want to do?
Well,
what do you got?
hashtag coaster. Hashtag coaster if you haven't already. Definitely get in and play. I mean, maybe that Denny Hastert thing it kind of chilled the giveaway, but oh well. You know what? I'm only going to do one story, but I want to leave us all on a very positive note. In these uncertain times, it's nice when we can get some news to help us breathe a little easier. Scientists working on the CERN particle accelerator want to make it perfectly clear that they are not opening up a gate to hell. The CERN was restarted back in the spring after 3 years of repairs and upgrades. But according to some folks on social media, those upgrades were made with evil intent, an effort to open up portals to other dimensions, including hell and other spiritual worlds. Well, officials at CERN are responding, trying to assure the fearful that we simply don't have the technology to do what these posters are suggesting. They swear, pinky swear, that they're still just crashing protons together to learn more about the origins of the universe.
And in a month, Scott will have it in his back room in Aurora, Illinois. I guarantee it.
There you go.
guarantee
Something's going to walk through. He's going to put it in formaldehyde, and we'll
And
be giving
sell
it
it.
away shortly. There we go.
All right, let's give it away. The prize package. Are we ready? All right, Ellen, hit the button. Jane Brinker. All right, Jane. Ellen, tell her what she should do.
Well, she should send an email to Garry Meier Show at GarryMeier.com or text 773-888-2157 with your mailing address. Or if you're also on Facebook, you can send Garry a private message on the Garry Meier Facebook page.
Congratulations, Jane. And on next Friday's show, Josh Lawler, who's a lawyer, and he represents companies that are trying to introduce psychedelics into the country, much like cannabis has been introduced.
Is that a case of nominative determinism?
How's that?
His name is Lawler.
Lawler, yeah, there.
Holy
it does work.
smoke.
All right, that's it. Thanks for everything. And that means July and anything else that has given me pleasure in the last few days. First of all, the cannoli has to be handed out. It's complimentary. Look at it. Oh, I'm going to send, I got a picture from a listener about a lawyer from for other cannoli, and we're going to mix it up on the cannoli thing. What about the schnauzer?
Perch your schnauzer on a coaster and see what happens.
All right, stream on that schnauzer. Fetch on all fours. Thanks for listening. 3 in the Green. Gear is down. Flaps are down. The voice of the globe. Have a great weekend. The GarrForce has landed.
Good night and have a pleasant tomorrow.
If you like that, I got other stuff I think you're going to like. This is the GarrForce.
Like and subscribe, like and subscribe.
Yeah.
And please, please, please tell your friends and family to like and subscribe too.
All right. Yeah.
More eyeballs. It's a good thing.
Boom. Shakalaka.